Knowledge blooms when you share. We would like to implement his learning immediately. And what better way to do than to invite Mr. Raj Raghavan to share with us what has been behind the scenes, what has been the conceptualization, what has been the design of this conference. Raj, over to you.
Thank you, and we have had a great opening to the 20th National Conference. Thank you all for being here and being at the HR Showcase. It's not easy to follow. Is it okay? It's not easy to follow such great speakers that came ahead of me. What I'm going to do is to kind of take you through how we went through the entire design of the conference. After we decided on the theme of the conference, which is the spirit of entrepreneurship, we said we will crowdsource some of these ideas. We had a lot of ideas ourselves. We went to our past presidents, the EC members and all of that, and the biggest idea came from what we call the crowdsourcing of the ideas itself. So in one of our monthly meetings, we converted the monthly meeting to basically ask our members, what do you want to see in the conference? So Siddharth, my colleague, facilitated all of that. A lot of things came, lots of ideas came. First, they said, don't make it full of speeches. Okay, so how do you have a conference without speeches? They said, involve business leaders. It need not be just HR people coming in there. Okay, we'll do that. They said, minimal PPTs, we want lots of interactions, we want lots of deliberations, and we want lots of conversations. They said, okay, let's involve students as well. It's not just about corporates and people like you and I. We wanted students in it. And somebody also said we need to have social media. We need to be able to talk about how we use social media in recruiting, in talent attraction, etc. People wanted to talk about innovation. They wanted to talk about entrepreneurship. Somebody wanted to talk about how do you run family businesses and how are they run effectively. They also wanted to know finally about entrepreneurship. And then Bala said, we cannot miss out on any of these. Let's have all of these components in the conference. And I said to him, as a designer of the conference, I'll probably need 15 days to do it. And now having it for 15 days is absolutely no way to go. And then we said, how else can we do that? So we said, we'll split it into what we call bite-sized bits. And some of you know, several of you know, and those of you who have not been in Bangalore, just for your sake, we have had a melange of conferences going on since 3rd of December. So from 3rd of December to 7th of December, we had a lot of pre-conferences, and we had them across corporates. So IBM participated in it, GE participated, 3M participated. We had colleges like BMS, St. Joseph's, NMIMS, and IMB participating in it. So there was a start to the whole conference. Then we put sectoral conferences together. So yesterday was a bunch of sectoral conferences we ran. First was a STUCO that Anand ran really well. There were 1,500 students at St. Joseph's. Then we had an Edupreneurs conference, bringing educationalists together. The CHROs, there was a big one that happened yesterday at Hotel Lalit Ashok. And then we had a CSR and NGO summit as well. So what we said was we crowdsource all these ideas. We just need to be good enough to bring all of them together. And then we said we will do it not in those 2 days, but beyond the 2 days. And obviously, we had the HR Showcase as well. The HR Showcase, for those of you that have been to the stalls, is India's largest exhibition of top-notch best practices. And what started off as, I let the paid people that I paid up for to clap. That's okay, you can do that. All right, so good. It's probably one of the best compilations of best practices. And what started off as corporate best practices, we kind of moved beyond it. And it's not just a signature event for NHRD Bangalore, it's a signature event for all of HR professionals in the country. So we have corporate HR practices, we had HR research papers coming in there, we had innovations in business schools, we had CSR and HR startups. So all of these made the showcase that Ranjan runs so very well. So coming to the main conference, so the spirit of entrepreneurship was decided, and we said, what about the logo? And a bunch of us had several logos to choose from, and Bala created this WhatsApp group that said, okay, go pick up what logo you wanted, and HR professionals, we picked up pretty much everything. There were 5 logos, and we said, we can't have 5. We need to go with 1. And finally, we picked up the logo that you see right there, and I've written it down so I don't forget it. It's the twister of change which did not exist before. This actually helped mankind to do things which they have never done before, and which is what we thought we will do with this conference itself. So, and as we talked through and crowdsourced these ideas, we said there are 3 major components of entrepreneurship that we wanted to learn from, and that's what we'll have from this afternoon till tomorrow evening when the conference ends. The first component is what we will see today. The segment is called Gaining Momentum, and gaining momentum is typically for those at a startup stage, and they have unique culture and spirit that they want to have. And that's going to be anchored by my colleague from Wipro, Saurabh Govil. Tomorrow morning, we are going to continue with the momentum, and we are going to call it the sustaining momentum. And sustaining momentum is for those organizations that have done well year after year and have had to reinvent consistently. I'll be anchoring that segment, and and I'll talk about some of the speakers that is coming in. And the second half of tomorrow is what we call reimagining momentum. Reimagining momentum, or for those companies that have been there for several years, and how did they have to reimagine to keep the momentum going up. So the design was very, very well thought through, and we told each of the speakers and each of the sessions, very, again, not so unique just to this conference, but that's what we've been seeing in several conferences lately. The design has got business leaders. Every segment has a business leader. Every component of the segment has a business leader and a HR leader coming in, much like Professor Ram Charan was alluding us to. And our intent is to have minimal PowerPoints, maximum conversations, and a combination of panel discussions. So this has got panel discussions, it's got interviews, it's got debates. A lot of us are going to do that. We are going to have TEDx type stand-up conversations. It's a big hall here, so we don't expect anyone to be standing up as we do. So towards the second half of tomorrow, we also have what we call Make Your Own Conference. And you'll be surprised to see a lot of us sitting in the audience going up and speaking there. So we have tents out there, and the intent is for us to go and attend a part of, not a typical conference, a part of a presentation or a segment that several of us are going to put together. And while we do this, please tweet, please record your own interviews, download the app. Several of you have seen the app that was being circulated. So we have an app both on Android as well as on the iOS devices. Download it and use it. Finally, I want to end by saying, and this is the app right there. Go to the link and download it. We initially had it only on Android, and now we have on iOS as well. We have national and international speakers, global speakers. We have a blend of various sectors coming up, lots of industries, easy to follow design. I want you to enjoy, network, like Nathan said. And finally, we want to thank Professor Ram Charan for being here today. Again, for the outstanding speech that you always deliver. This is not the first time, several of us are listening to you, Professor. And we want to thank you by not giving you a bouquet, but basically, donating a part of what we would do otherwise and buying it to this girl right there. So she will know that it's coming from you, Professor. And again, thank you so much for being here today, and enjoy this morning and the lunch and today and tomorrow as well. And I'll keep seeing you quite often during the next 2 days. Thanks again for showing up.